Hello everyone, I am Vivek, your mathematics knowledge coach, and in today's class, we are going to learn in depth about coordinate geometry. So, for your ASVAB exam, in today's class, you're going to learn everything that is going to come or that might come into your ASVAB exam regarding coordinate geometry. We are going to cover all the necessary topics from it. Okay, so guys, let's move on to the next slide or the first slide of this class, wherein we'll be learning about coordinate plane. So what exactly is a coordinate plane? So basically it is a two-dimensional plane which has this axis known as the x-axis, this one known as the y-axis. Okay, so x-axis is horizontal axis, y-axis is the vertical axis, and now you will understand this side is nothing but the positive side of the x-axis. This side is nothing but the negative side. The top side is the positive side of the y-axis, and this is nothing but the negative side of the y-axis. This is known as the origin, which has the coordinates nothing as 0, 0. Now remember, if you want to locate any particular point, now let me just try to locate this point over here. So let's say 4, okay, 4, 5. So we will be writing the x coordinate first, which is 4 for this particular point, and then we'll be mentioning the y coordinate, which is 5 in this particular case. So I hope you understood how we, let's say how we pointed out the point 4, 5 in this particular coordinate plane. Now, I'll be telling you about quadrants. So let's say what exactly are quadrants? So this two axis over here, so x-axis and y-axis basically divides the plane into four different quadrants. This is the first quadrant, remember, first, second, third, and fourth. First, second, third, and fourth. Okay, now why are this quadrant naming important? Because we will be understanding what will be the sign convention for all this axis or all this coordinate points. Now let's say if I'm going to put a point over here, so what will be the point 3, which is nothing but the x coordinate, 2 comma 2, which is nothing but the y coordinate. So what do we see? The sign is nothing but positive comma positive. If I take the second quadrant, I'm going to take the x coordinate from this negative axis. So what will we have? We are going to have negative x coordinate and positive y coordinate, because we'll be taking the y coordinate from the positive y axis. In the third quadrant, what you're going to get? Negative x-axis coordinate and negative y-axis coordinate. For the fourth axis, this will be positive x and negative y. Now, if someone says, where does this point lie? 5, negative 3. So, in which quadrant does this particular point, 5, negative 3, lie? So, let us just see. This is positive and this is negative. So, positive and negative, it will be in the fourth quadrant. Now, if someone says negative 3, negative 2, so negative, negative. So, x coordinate is also negative and y coordinate is also negative. So, this particular point is going to lie in the third quadrant. Now, if you guys want to understand where does this particular point, let's say negative 1, 2, where will it lie? So, it is going to have a negative x-axis and a positive y-axis. So what does that mean? It is going to lie in the second quadrant. Now, can you guys tell me where will this particular point lie? 3, negative 4. Daniel and Julie, can you please let me know in which quadrant will this 3, negative 4 lie? You can put the answer in the chat box, guys. Yep, you are right. Absolutely correct. So this will lie in nothing but the fourth quadrant. Very good. Now, let's say, just guess. I'm going to give you two cases and I want you to answer them in 30 seconds. So where will this point lie? Negative 3 comma negative 5 and 5 comma negative 3. So where will these 2 points lie in the coordinate plane, or in which quadrant of the coordinate plane are these 2 points particularly going to lie? Negative 3 comma negative 5 and 5 comma negative 3. I already have answers. So it's third and the fourth one. Awesome. Let's move on to the next slide. Now we are going to learn something about midpoint formula. Guys, remember, you might get a question on midpoint formula because there are few questions that have appeared in the sample papers of ASVAB, and there are heavy chances of this appearing in your ASVAB exam also. So now just remember the formula, which is nothing but the midpoint formula. So midpoint means what? It's basically a point that is equidistant from the two endpoints. So what do we have over here? Point P, point Q, and there is point M over here. So point P is having nothing but x1 comma y1 as its coordinate, and point Q has its coordinate x2 comma y2. P has x1 y1, Q has x2 y2. Now M is exactly at the center. So always remember this formula. You can just note it down. The midpoint of P, which has x1 y1, and Q x2 y2, will be always, you take the average of x coordinates. So x1 plus x2 divided by 2 comma y1 plus y2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2 is nothing but the midpoint formula. I hope you guys understood it. Let me solve few questions so that you guys can understand it better. So the first question says, the coordinate of the endpoints of line segment AB are, I'll put this as A, 1 comma negative 5, and B is nothing but 7 comma 4. What are the coordinates of its midpoint? So let me do one thing. I'll just rename this as x1, y1, and I'll rename this as x2, y2. Hello, Frederick. Hey, buddy, we are learning about midpoints. I'll just explain you shortly what are midpoint. What is the midpoint formula? Can you please note this formula down? Midpoint is nothing but the point that is equidistant from both the points. Now let's say if this P has x1 comma y1 and Q has x2 comma y2. So the midpoint, the coordinates of this midpoint P, which is nothing but x1 y1, x2 y2, will be nothing but x1 plus x2 divided by 2 comma y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Please note it down. I'll give you a minute, guys. Write on the formula. Come on, Daniel, Julian, Frederick. Let me know once you've written it down. Frederick, please write this formula down. It's going to be very helpful. Now, I hope you guys have written it. Let's move on for solving some questions. So the coordinates of the endpoints of line segment AB are 1 comma negative 5. So guys, just focus here. 1 comma negative 5, and point B has 7 comma 4. So the first thing that you're going to do in order to find the midpoints is nothing but mark them as x1, y1, x2, y2. As we already know, midpoint m x comma y will be nothing but the average of these two, which will be nothing but x1 comma x2 over 2 comma and the average of these two, negative 5 plus 4 over 2. So if I solve this, okay, negative 5 over 4, I just wrote it, but I should have written it y1 plus y2 over 2. So I'll just write down 1 plus 7 divided by 2, comma, negative 5 plus 4 over 2. What do we have over here? 1 plus 7 is 8 over 2, comma, negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1 over 2. So 8 over 2 is nothing but 4, comma, negative 1 over 2. So this is nothing but the midpoint of these two endpoints having the coordinates 1 comma negative 5 and 7 comma 4. I hope you got it. Frederick, did you understand it, buddy? Frederick, did you understand it or do you want me to go over again? Okay. I hope you understood understood it or you want me to go over. I think I just got a yes. But what was that yes for? I'll do one thing. I'll solve one more question. Okay? So that you can understand it clearly. So here, which of the following would give the coordinates of the midpoint of P, which is nothing but negative 6, comma 13, and Q, which is nothing but negative, not negative, sorry, 9, comma 6. So I'll just put it as x1, y1. This is the first thing that you're going to do. This is x2, y2, and the midpoint x comma y would be nothing but the average of x coordinate, comma, the average of y coordinate. So let's just plug the values over here. So which we have negative 6 plus 9 over 2 and 13 plus 6 over 2. What will we do now? We'll simply add it. So negative 6 plus 9, we already have the answer over here, which is B, but I will further solve it. So negative 6 plus 9 is nothing but 3 over 2, comma, 13 plus 6 is 19 over 2. So this will be your midpoint for this statement PQ. Did you understand it, Frederick, Julie, Daniel? If you understood it, please show me a thumbs up, guys. Yes, Frederick got it. Awesome, Daniel, very good. Now, I want to give you one question to solve. Can you guys try solving this question on your own? You have 2 minutes to solve this question. Go ahead. You need to mark point A as x1, y1, the other point is x2, y2. Get the average of both of them, forgetting the coordinates of the midpoint. Did you get the answer, guys? You can just put it in the chat box. I already have two answers. Okay. Daniel says it is B. Awesome, Daniel. Frederick, are you solving it or do you want me to solve it? Julie, waiting for your answer as well. Frederick, buddy, are you solving it?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay, buddy, take your time. Frederick also says it is B. Okay, so Frederick also got it as B. So let's move on to the next question. Now let's say this is a type of question which I will be solving and it might appear in your exam. So let's say if P is the midpoint of line segment RJ and one endpoint is R has coordinate 7 comma negative 8. So R is having 7 comma negative 8 and find the coordinates of the other endpoint. So I'll put this as J x2 comma y2, whereas the midpoint which is P, which is nothing but negative 1 comma 2. So as we already know, midpoint. So this point P is having negative 1 comma 2 equals to 7 plus x2. We're going to take the average of these two over 2 comma the average of these two, negative 8 plus y2 over 2. What can I do now? I will just equate this both and then I'll equate this both. So first thing, negative 1 equals to 7 plus x2 over 2. So what do I do now? I will multiply both the sides with 2. So this 2 will just get cancelled out. So what do we have left now? 7 plus x2 equals to negative 2. Now I want to get rid of this 7, which is in addition. So opposite of addition or inverse of addition is nothing but subtraction. So I'll subtract 7. What do I get? X2 equals to negative 9. So this is the value of our x2. Now I'm going to find the value of y2 over here by equating this both equations. So negative 8 plus y2 over 2 equals to 2. I'll just multiply both the sides with 2. This 2 will just get cancelled out. So we have negative 8 plus y2 is equal to 4. I'll add 8 to both the sides and we have the answer of y2 equals to 12. So the endpoint J will have nothing but negative 9 as 12 as its coordinate. I hope you guys understood it. If you understood it, let me know in the comment box. Julie, Daniel, Frederick. If you want me to explain any particular point into it, please let me know that as well. Daniel says, got it. Frederick, did you get it, buddy? Julie, did you get it? Let's move on to the next point, which is nothing but the distance formula. So distance formula, in this particular formula, we are just going to find the distance between two coordinate points. Okay, I will just, you guys can just write this formula down. You have 90 seconds. Distance between 2 points will be the root of x1 minus x2 to the whole power plus y1 minus y2 to the whole power 2. Write it down. Guys, there are chances that they might just give you 2 points and they will ask you to find the distance between those 2 points. And those marks are very, very easy to score. So I do not want you to miss out on those particular marks or those particular questions. So let's move on to the question where I will be solving the first question for you. Now find the length of the segment given its endpoints. So here the endpoints are nothing but, let me write them down. I'll just write this as point A and this is point B. So A is 1, 2 and B is 3, negative 2. So the first thing that we are going to do is rename them as x1, y1, x2, y2. And as we know the formula, it's under root x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. Just plug in the formula, the numbers now. x1 is 1 under root 1 minus x2 is nothing but 3 whole square plus y1 is 2 minus y2 is negative 2. So let's solve it completely. 1 minus 3 is negative 2 whole square plus 2 minus negative 2. So it will become 2 plus 2 whole square. So what do we have? Under root negative 2 square, which it means negative 2 times negative 2 would be positive 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 square or I'll just write it down so that you guys don't confuse in it. So 4 plus the square of 4 is 16. So what do we have? Under root 20 is the distance between these 2 points A and B. I hope you guys got it. Did you guys understand it? Let me know in the comment box so that we can move ahead to the next question. This distance formula, guys, it is easy peasy lemon squeezy. You just need to plug in the values into the formula and you need to remember the formula. So it's very important that you guys write down this formula beforehand only. Now, let's move on for solving the next question. I'll solve this one more question, then you guys are going to solve it. What is the distance between the points 5, 6 and negative 12, 40? So I'll rename this as x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, the distance formula would be nothing but under root x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. We just need to plug in the values now. What is x1? It's 5. What is x2? Negative 12. Square it plus. What is y1? 6. What is y2? It's 40. Just square it and keep the whole damn thing under a root. Next, 5, this minus times minus will become plus 12 square. So 5 plus 12 whole square plus 6 minus 40 would be nothing but negative 34 whole square. So what do we have now? 5 plus 12 is nothing but 17 whole square plus 34 square. That means what? Negative 34 times negative 34. In the end, it is going to be positive. So I'll just multiply 34 times 34. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1 over. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1, 13. Because I am moving on to the tens digit, I'll put a 0 over here. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1 over. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, 10. Add everything up. 6, 5, 1, 1. So 1156 under root. And 17 times 17 is nothing but 289 plus 1156. I will just add these two numbers. So 289. So 6 plus 9 is 15. Carry the 1 over. 5 plus 8 is 13 plus 1 is 14. Carry the 1 over. 1 plus 2 plus 1. It's 4. And here we have under root 1445. If you guys remember, I have also taught you how to find the square root. We have already got our answer as 1445. We'll try to find the square root of this particular thing, if at all it has a perfect square. Let me just try to do the prime factorization method. So what do we do now? I'll just mark it in the left hand side. Here we go. We need to find a number which will divide 1445. It should be the least prime number. So we cannot divide it with 2. We cannot divide it with 3. We can just divide it with 5. So 5 times 2 is 14. 4 carried over. 5 times 8 is nothing but 40. Again 4 carried over. 5 times 9 is nothing but 45. So as we already know, this number can be divided by 17. 17 divided by 17. 17 divided by 2. Sorry, 289 divided by 17 will be 17. Here we have 1. So what can we do about it now? As I told you in the last class, whenever we are taking square root, we'll form a pair. So what do we have? This 17 is forming a pair. A 17 will come out. and 5 remains in the bracket itself. So 17 root 5 will be your answer. I hope you guys understood it. Let's move on for solving the next question, and you guys are going to solve it now. So Daniel, Frederick, Julie, Jacob, try solving it. Come on, guys. You have 2.5 minutes for solving this. Go ahead, guys. Solve it. Rename this as x1, y1, x2, y2, and just plug it into the formula. Daniel already got the answer. Okay, Daniel, let's wait for other members, few more members to solve it. Come on, guys, waiting for your answer. Daniel has already got it. Frederick, Julie, Jacob. Can you explain one for me? I joined in late. Okay, Jacob. No worries, buddy. I will solve this one for you. So what do we need to do, buddy? Whenever we want to find the distance formula, we just rename the points. It as x1, y1 and x2, y2. And this is the distance formula. I would recommend you to write it down somewhere in your notebook. So let's just plug in the values now. So x1 is nothing but negative 2 minus x2 is nothing but 2 square plus y1 is nothing but 1 minus y2 is nothing but negative 2 whole square under root. Let's solve it further. Negative 2 minus 2 will be nothing but negative 4 whole square plus 1 minus negative 2. It will become minus minus. If there are two simultaneous minus, it will become positive. 1 plus 2 whole square. So what do we have over here? 16 plus 3 square under root. This will be nothing but 16 plus 9. 16 plus 9 is nothing but under root 25. So what is the square root of 25? It's 5. The square root of 25 is nothing but 5. What does that mean? 5 multiplied by itself. 5 times 5 is nothing but equal to 25. So option A is correct. Jacob, did you understand it, buddy? Did you understand it, buddy? Jacob? Yep. Frederick, did you understand it? Frederick, you there, buddy? Did you get it? Daniel? Yep. Let's move on to the next question. This one is easy peasy, lemon squeezy question. So what I will do for you is I'll just name them as x1, y1, x2, y2. Guys, get me the answer to this question ASAP. You just have 2 minutes to solve this question. Solve it. I have an answer from Jacob. I think you're right, Jacob. Let's wait for other members to solve it. Daniel says, yes, it's 3.
Mm,
Okay.
I went to somewhere, but I got stuck.
Okay. So do you want me to solve it, Frederick?
Yeah, because I don't know. The x1 is 1, and x2 is 1. So it will be 1 negative 1
Oh, 1
square.
minus 1 is 0.
0, yeah. Yeah, I got that. 0, 0. So it will be 0 squared plus this one, 2 minus, it will be 3. 3 squared.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I got stuck. Like
Oh,
this is the same thing I got, but
yeah.
I got stuck there.
That's fine. Let's I want you to answer it now. What is 0 plus 9?
0 plus 9 is 9.
9. And what is the square root of 9?
It's 3.
That's your answer.
Yeah, that's why I got stuck. So
It's completely fine, buddy. If you have any doubts, you can just ask it to me anytime. Okay?
okay.
Okay, let's move on. It's good. Sure. Let's move on to the next point. Ah, this is a super easy question. Frederick, I want you to solve this first. You have 90 seconds. Don't get stuck anywhere. I'll rename this as x1, y1, x2, y2. Solve it, guys. Okay, good, Jacob. You just have to plug it into this formula. X1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. Frederick says it is A. Daniel says it is 10. All of you got it right. And remember one thing. It's not that you need to follow the same series like x1 minus x2. You can even do it this way. X2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. It's just that you need to keep the number. Like let's say if it was x2 over here, you need to keep y2 over here. So you can even do it this way. X2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next point, which is nothing but slope. So basically, slope describes the direction of a line. So there have been few questions that have directly come into your sample paper of ASVAB. So what are we going to do now? I'm going to teach you how to find the slope. Basically, here we are using the letter M to denote the value of slope. So slope will be equal to, remember, I'll rename this x1, y1, x2, y2. So slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It can be also taken as y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Okay, you can take it in any series that you want. So let us just substitute the values and get the answer. So y2 is 2 minus y1 is 6 over x2 is 5 minus x1 is negative 3. So what do we have? 2 minus 6 is negative 4. 5 minus negative 3 would become 5 plus 3. So what do we have? Negative 4 over 8. Now, this 4 and 8 can be divided by a number 4. So I'll just divide both the numerator and denominator by 4. What would I get? Negative 1 over 2, which is nothing but our slope. So just take a minute and write this formula down somewhere. Slope M is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Write down the formula in your notebook. If you have written it down, we are going to move on to the next question. I'm going to solve the next question, which is nothing but find the slope between negative, sorry, it's 5 comma 4 and negative 3 comma 4. So the first thing, rename them x1 y1, x2 y2. If I remember the formula correctly, m equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Just substitute the values correctly. y2 is 4 minus y1 is 4. x2 is negative 3 minus x1 is 5. So what do we have? 4 minus 4, 0. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. 0 divided by anything is nothing but 0. So this particular 2 points have 0 slope, means it's nothing but a straight line. Okay, I hope you guys got it. If you guys got it, just let me know by a thumbs up, or you can just even say got it in the chat box. so that I can give you some questions to solve. Okay, Frederick says thumbs up. That means he understood it. Let's move on. Here is your question, guys. And just to help you out, I will rename this as x1, y1, x2, y2. You can start solving your question from here. I want you to get the slope on your own. All the best. Did you get your answer, guys? If you have your answer, please put it in the chat box. I have an answer. I'm not sure, but it's A, is what Daniel is saying. Daniel, I think you should redo it, buddy. M equals y2 minus y01 over x2 minus x1. Just substitute the values and get your answers. Frederick got it as C. Very good, Frederick. You got it right. Daniel, if you see y2 is nothing but 8, y1 is nothing but 1, and x2 is nothing but negative 13, x1 is nothing but 4. So 8 minus 1 is 7, negative 13 minus 4 is nothing but negative 17. So what do we have? We can just transfer this negative sign to the top. So we have negative 7 over 17, which is nothing but, oh, it's option B, not C. Frederick, it was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? Sure. Let's move on to the next question. What is the slope of the line passing through the points 2, 3 and 6, 7? I will just rename the point. First point is x1, y1, x2, y2. Get me the answers fast. You guys have 90 seconds to solve this. Daniel says it is A. Okay, Daniel, let's wait for a few more members to solve it. I got the answer from Jacob and Frederick. Yep, you guys got it right. So option A is correct. Let's move on to the next question. Oh, it's not a question. Basically, we're going to learn about the equation of a line. So here we're going to learn about slope-intercept form. In your ASVAB exam, they might ask you, they'll give you an equation of line and they will say, what is basically the slope of this particular line? So these are very easy type questions. And if you understand the concept, it is very just a single concept. If you understand it well, you will score that particular question or that particular point very easily. So remember, this is a slope intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. This is the standard equation where m is nothing but the slope and b is nothing but the y-intercept. Just note it down and it will make sense when I will solve one or two questions. You will understand it clearly. I just want you to write down this equation right now and write m is equal to slope and b is equal to y-intercept. So you have 40 seconds to write it down. After that, I'll move on for solving two questions. And you'll have a clear understanding about it. Yep. So what are they saying in the first question? Write the equation of the line with slope m and y-intercept as -3. So m is equal to 5 and b is equal to -3. So what was the slope-intercept form or equation? Y is equal to mx plus b. I will simply substitute the value of m and b into it and we'll get our answer. Y equals to m is nothing but 5x plus this is nothing but -3. So what do we have? Y equals to 5x minus 3. So this is the equation of your line, which has a slope equal to 5 and y-intercept is equal to -3. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. Now, you can take a screenshot of this and we will move on to solve next question. So here, the question is a bit twisted. So find the slope and the y-intercept of 2x minus 5y is equal to 1. So what did we have? The slope-intercept form as y is equal to mx plus b. So y should be in the left-hand side or it should be coordinate. So what can we do? And the coefficient should be 1 only. But this is not the case for this. So what will I do now? I'll subtract 2x from both the sides. What do I get? -5y equal to 1 minus 2x. Okay, I will just move this 2x over here. So it becomes -2x plus 1 equals to -5y. And we want this equal to 1. So I will divide both the sides by -5. So what will I get now? Y equals to -2 over -5x plus 1 over -5. If I solve it clearly, what will I have? -2 over -5 is +2 over 5x plus times negative will be -1 over 5. So if I compare it with the equation y is equal to mx plus b. So what do I have? m is nothing but equal to 2 over 5. What do I have b equals to? B is nothing but equal to negative 1 over 5. So the y-intercept is negative 1 over 5 and the slope is nothing but 2 over 5. Okay, you just need to get everything into the form of y equals to mx plus b, and then you just need to see which value is going to replicate the value of m and which value is going to replicate the value of b. Let's move on. Okay, can you guys try solving this question? What is the slope of the line given by the equation y equals to 2x plus b? We have this equation slope-intercept form as y equals to, sorry, here it is 5. Y equals to 2x plus 5. And here we have the slope-intercept form, which is nothing but y equals to mx plus b. So can you guys tell me what is the slope of this line? Jacob says it is 2. Why do you think, Jacob, it is 2? Daniel says it is 2. Any particular reason why it is 2? Yes, because there is 2 in place of m. And this y-intercept is nothing but 5. So the slope of this line is nothing but 2. Now, let's move on. Daniel, did you understand it? Did you get why it is 2? Frederick, did you understand? Solve this question, guys, fast. The equation is y equals to negative 4x plus 3. What is the slope of the line? Daniel has answered it pretty quick. Jacob says it is negative 4. Y is equal to mx plus b. Frederick, waiting for you, buddy. What is the slope of the line? I'm not sure. 4. Okay. Look, buddy. Here, whatever else other than x is your slope. Here there is a x, here there is a x. So anything, like let's say the coefficient before the x will be nothing but equal to your slope. M is negative 4. Okay, let's move on. Oh, now here, let me just give you a hint. You guys need to divide both the sides by 2. What will you get then? Y equals to 3x minus 4. Get me the value of slope. Get me the value of slope for this. Put the answer in the chat box. Daniel, Frederick, Julie, and Jacob. Daniel says it is 3. Yes, Daniel, you're correct. Frederick says it is A. Yes, very good, Frederick. Now, here are some more questions from the sample papers, which I will be solving it, okay? You guys just need to focus. So here we go, guys. Find the equation of the line through negative 2 comma 7 with the slope of nothing but 3. So how would you get if you get a question like this? As we know, the slope-intercept form is y equals to mx plus b. Now I'll just substitute the value of slope into this equation. Y equals to 3x plus b. And if I want to get the value of b, I will have to substitute this point, which is negative 2 comma 7 into this equation. So y equals to 7 equals to 3 times negative 2 plus b. So what do I have? 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 plus b equals to 7. Add 6 to both the sides. So what do we have? 13 equals to b. Now, I have the equation of slope m is equal to 3 and b is equal to 13. So, the required equation is nothing but y equals to 3x plus 13. What did I do? I first initially substitute the value of slope over here. Then I substituted this coordinate over here in order to get the value of b. When I solved everything, I got the value of b and I just substituted it into this and got the general equation, which is nothing but y equals to 3x plus 13. They might ask you this type of questions as well. Let's move on to the next type of question. Write the equation of the line through. Guys, I want you to get the slope of the line joining these 2 points. I'll rename this as x1, y1, x2, y2. Get me the slope first. After you get me the slope, I'll just put it into this equation. mx plus b. Okay, get me the slope first. Slope, if you remember, what was the formula for slope? M equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Get me the slope first. Jacob, Frederick, Daniel, what is the slope of the line joining these 2 points? Anyone got the slope? Please put it in the chat box. Jacob. Okay, Daniel says it is 5 over 6. Yes, it is correct. So y equals to, I'll just put the value of m. M is nothing but 5 over 6. I'll just substitute the value of m into this equation. 5 over 6x plus b. Now I'll take any of these 2 points. So I'll just take any of these 2 points. I'll put the value of x as 5, y as 7 into this in order to get the value of b. So y is 7 equals to 5 over 6 times x is nothing but 5 plus b. So let me just solve it now. 25 over 6 from both the ends. What will I get now? I will get 7 minus 25 over 6 equals to b. So what will I do now? 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42 minus 25 over 6 is equal to b. So 42 minus 25. 2 minus 5, which is not practically possible. So I'll have to borrow it from this. So this becomes 3. Now here, this will become 12. 12 minus 5 is nothing but 7. 3 minus 2 is nothing but 1. So we have b equals to 17 upon 6. And let us just put it into this equation. So the equation of the line would be y equals to, the slope was 5 over 6x plus 17 over 6. So this would be the equation of the line passing through these 2 points. Let's move on to the next question. So in the equation 3x plus 7y is equal to 21. 3x plus 7y is equal to 21. At what point is the x-axis intersected? Now remember, if the x-axis is intersected, that means what? The y-coordinate is 0. On the x-axis, the value of y is 0 anywhere on the x-axis. So I'll just substitute the value of y equals to 0. So 3x plus 7 times 0 equals to 21. So what does that mean? 3x is equal to 21. X is nothing but, if I divide both the sides by 3, x is equal to 7. So the points are going to be x is 7, y is 0, because the y coordinate on the x-axis is always going to be equal to 0. So option A is correct. Now, with that question, I hope you guys have understood it, and we are going to move on to our quiz section. So hold on, guys. Let me stop sharing for some time and I can just share with you my screen. Here you go, guys. I'm going to share the link in the chat box. The code to join this is nothing but 592846. Frederick has joined. Frederick is on board. Daniel is on board. Come on, Jacob. Jacob waiting for you. After that, we'll start. Yep. So your quiz starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. For all those who are going to watch the recording of this particular session, I'll just show you all the questions so you can pause the video and solve them. So this is the first question. What is the distance between 2 points? I'll show you those 2 points as well. You can name one as A, the other as B, and solve it accordingly. You can pause the video and solve it. This is question number 2, where again you need to find the distance of it. These are your 2 points, -3, 5 and 7, -1. You can apply the formula and get the answer. Here is a question number 3, wherein you need to find the midpoint using the formula again. So the question says, what is the formula for midpoint? I hope you guys have written it down when we were taking the class. Now, what formula is shown in the figure? So if you guys have noted down the formulas when I was teaching, you'll get this particular point easily. Find the distance between the points. So you can just apply the distance formula and get the answer to this. Question number 7. What is the slope of the line y is equal to -5x plus 7? Next question. What is the slope of the line passing through 4, -2 and 7, -2? Question number 8. What is the slope of the line y equals to -4x plus 3? And question number 10. What is the slope of the line passing through 1, 1 and 3, 7? So now I'll go back to my contestants of the class and see how they are doing. They are doing pretty fine till now. Take your time and solve each and every question carefully. Okay, Daniel and Jacob has near about completed the quiz. Frederick, buddy, do you want me to help you out for solving the quiz? You can just let me know in the chat box. Frederick, buddy, do you want me to help you out? Okay, so let us try to solve where some of the students got the questions wrong. So the first thing which they got wrong was this. Okay, two questions. Two guys got it correct, zero got it incorrect. Okay, find the distance. This is where someone went wrong. I will solve this question. So the points here are nothing but -3, 5 and 7, -1. So I will just name them as x1, y1, x2, y2. According to the formula, what do we have? x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. So what is x1? -3 minus what is x2? 7 whole square plus what is y1? It's 5 minus -1 whole square under root. So what do we have now? Under root -10 whole square plus 5 minus minus becomes plus. So 6 whole square. So what do we have? 100 plus 36 under root, which is nothing but under root 136. So this is your correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question, find the midpoint of the segment with endpoints. So here are the endpoints, 6, 7 and 6, -5. So I'll name this as x1, y1, x2, y2. For finding the midpoint, what do we need to do? We just need to take the average of the x coordinates and the average of the y coordinates. So x1 plus x2 is nothing but 6 plus 6 over 2, comma. y1, 7 plus -5 over 2. So what do we have? 6 plus 6, 12 over 2 minus 7 minus 5 is 2 over 2. So what do we have? 12 over 2 is 6, comma 2 over 2 is 1. So 6, 1. Option B is correct for this. Let's move on to the next question. What is the midpoint formula? Which I just applied. So this one is your midpoint formula. The average of the x coordinate and the average of y coordinate is how you will get the midpoint. Next, what formula is shown over here? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is nothing but the distance formula which we just discussed before some time. Next, find the distance between the points. So what are the points given over here? 5, 3 and 2, 3. Rename them x1, y1, x2, y2. So what will we do now? Distance formula. Distance is equal to under root x1 minus x2 whole square or x2 minus x1 whole square. So I'll just write it as y1 minus y2 whole square. So x1 is nothing but 3. Sorry, x1 is nothing but 5. x2 is nothing but 2 whole square plus y1 is nothing but 3 minus 3 whole square under root. What does this equal to? 5 minus 2 is equal to 3 square plus 0 square. So what do we have? This equal to under root 9, which is nothing but equal to 3. So option 1 is correct for question number 6. Let's move on to the next question. So this one is easy peasy lemon squeezy. What is the slope of the line over here? The line is nothing but y equals to negative 5x plus 7. We just need to equate it to this. Y is equal to mx plus b, where m is nothing but equal to negative 5. So slope is negative 5 for this case. Next, what is the slope of the line passing through the point? So 4 comma 2 and 7 comma 2. So what do we do over guys here? x1 y1 x2 y2, and the slope is nothing but equal to slope m equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Just substitute the values. Y2 is 2 1 2 minus 2 over 7 minus 4. So do we have 0 over 3? 0 divided by anything is nothing but equal to 0. So option 1 is correct. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question says y is equal to negative 4 plus 3. So y is equal to negative 4x plus 3. Again, just equate it to this mx plus b. So what is the slope? You just find find the number which resembles m, which is nothing but negative 4. Oh, we already have the rankings. So Frederick is third, Daniel is second, and I think this is Jacob. Jacob is nothing but the first one. So Jacob, as usual, you are the champion of the class. I was just going through the last question. I'll solve it so that if someone is going through the recording, they will understand it, and then we can end the class after that. So let me take you to the last question. So the slope of the find the slope of the line passing through 1 comma 1 and 3 comma 7. So I'll name this as x1 y1 x2 y2. So what is the slope formula now? M is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is what? 7. y1 is what? 1. x2 is what? 3. x1 is what? 1. So what do we have? 7 minus 1 is 6. 3 minus 1 is nothing but equal to 2. So 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So option D is correct in this case. So I have also solved all the questions. If anyone has any doubt, they can ask it to me in the comment box, or else you can also message me on Facebook or on my WhatsApp number. So guys, it was pleasure meeting you today. I hope to see you soon in tomorrow's class at the same time in the same meeting. I think I'm going to cover most of the questions that have appeared in the sample papers of ASVAB for geometry. Okay, it will be like a geometry masterclass for ASVAB mathematics knowledge. So, see you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye.